Hi, welcome back to my new YouTube channel. We are going to keep working on reviewing adding and subtracting fractions in this video. This is the lesson that we did on the last day before the holiday break. So I know a few of us, Dai and Hiba and Hannah, and then Jumana, Fadia, Hussein, were absent on that day. So you may not have done this lesson in school. So you can go get your green fraction booklet now and you can fill it in. And everyone else is welcome, again, to watch this video as a little bit of review because I know it has been 3 weeks since we last did math class together. So I'm going to, again, switch my camera so you can see what I'm writing on my desk. And again, this is work with fractions. So we're going to be in our green booklet. I know my paper is white, but yours will be green. So again, you might want to pause the video to find your booklet. We're going to move on from what we did in the last lesson. And we are going to work on adding and subtracting fractions day 2. And the main difference of what we are doing today is I always want to make sure that our final answers are written in lowest terms. We want to write the fraction with the numbers as small as possible. And we'll talk about what that means as we work. So we're going to start the same way. I want to add 2 fractions. I need to make sure that we have the same denominator. So I need to have the same number on the bottom. Why don't we list multiples of 6 and list multiples of 3? Remember, we're looking for the smallest number they share. They do share a 12, but it's going to be much easier if I pick 6, the smallest number they share. And that's going to be my common denominator. So what number should we put on the top? Well, 6 is just the same, 6 and 6, so I need to have 5 on the top. Another way to think about that is 6 times 1 is 6. So if I do 5 times 1, it's 5. Here I've got 1, 2. So I did times 2 on the bottom to make 6, and we always need to do the same on the top. 2 times 2 is 4. So that's my first step, to write the fractions with the same or a common denominator. Then I'm going to add the numerator. 5 plus 4 is 9. And the number on the bottom stays the same. So that's where we got up to in the previous video. But I want to make this fraction in lowest terms. I need it to be as small as possible. So what I'm going to do is, can I divide 9 and 6 by the same number? So we've done this before. We're looking for a number that I can divide 9 by and 6 by. You can start trying small numbers. For example, if I tried 2, well, I can't divide 9 by 2 because I got a decimal. It was an odd number, so we can't divide by 2. That doesn't work. Can I divide 9 by 3? Yes, and you probably already know this, and I can also divide 6 by 3. So I want to try to divide until I get the smallest possible fraction. Remember, same thing on top, same thing on bottom. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So my final answer is 3/2 or 3/2. So the only thing we're adding in this video is that I need to always write my answer in lowest terms with the smallest possible fraction. And I get to there by dividing top and bottom by the same number. Let's do another example. So again, I have different numbers on the bottom. My denominators are different. So I need to list my multiples of 6, which is the same thing as saying I need to count by 6. And the more we do these, the more it will become quick or automatic to list all my multiples, or maybe even just to know right away which number they're going to share. What's the smallest number in both lists? I see that they share a 30. So I'm going to want to have 30 in my denominator. So 30 is 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 times 5 is 30. So I do the same to the top. And we know that 4 times 5 is 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 times 6 is 30. So I do 2 times 6 on the top, which is 12. So again, on the bottom, I have a 30. And on the top, I do 20 minus 12 is 8. Okay, good. But can I make this fraction smaller? Can I divide 8 and 30 by the same number? Well, they're both even numbers. Even numbers means I can cut them in half, which is another way of saying divide by 2. 8 divide 2 is 4. 30 divide 2 is 15. So my final answer in lowest terms would be 4/15. The questions are getting a little bit longer. I've got 3 steps. I need to find a common denominator, the same number on the bottom. Then I add or subtract, and then I reduce. I try to write an equivalent fraction that is as small as possible. Let's do a couple more examples. Whenever we worked with mixed fractions, so here's some examples of mixed fractions, because I've got a whole number and a fraction, so it's mixed. Before we start, I want to convert to improper fractions. And we've been doing this almost every day we've been in class. So we should be getting pretty quick at converting. So if I want to convert 3 1/2, I'm going to do 3 times 2 plus 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So I have 7 halves. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 3 is 8. So I have 8/5. The denominator remains the same. So my first step, whenever I'm working with mixed fractions, is to convert to improper. And now I can continue. I can list my multiples of 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And list my multiples of 5, 5, 10. Oh, looks like I can stop because I notice that 10 is in both lists. So I'm going to write both fractions over 10. 2 times 5 is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have to do 7 times 5 on the top. We should know that's 35. We can check our times tables. I'm okay with you using your calculator for these problems as well. How many 5s go into 10? 1, 2. So I do times 2, and it has to be times 2 on the top. 8 times 2 is 16. Okay. Now we have our common denominator of 10 on the bottom. And I just need to do 35 subtract 16 on the top. 35 take away 16 is positive 19. Now I can look to see if I can make this fraction smaller. But I can't actually divide 19 by anything except for 1 and 19. Special word for that, we call that a prime number. But the idea is, and you could try this in your calculator, I can't divide 19 and 10 by any of the same numbers. So it's already in lowest terms, and I can just leave my answer as 19/10. So the idea behind that example is just make sure if I'm giving you mixed fractions that you change to improper before you work on subtracting or adding. Let's do one last example. Again, my first step is to find that common denominator. Looks like we can stop at 24. 3 8s go into 24. So I need to multiply the top by 3. And only 2 12s, 1, 2, go into 24. So I can multiply the top by 2. 15 times 2 is 30. I'm adding, so I have a shared denominator, and 18 plus 30 is 48. Now, I can reduce this. I can make this really small. And we can always do this in multiple steps. We've learned different ways to reduce fractions. So for example, if I divide, we did this in class and people gave me different great answers. If I divide top and bottom by 2, I'll get 24 over 12. So that's reduced, that's smaller, that's good. I can keep going. I think I can divide both of these by 4. You could try different numbers. 2 would work, 3 would work, 6 would work. 24 divide 4 is 6. 12 divide 4 is 3. Can I keep going? Sure. I can divide 6 by 3, and of course I can always divide 3 by 3. 6 divides 3 is 2. 3 divides 3 is 1. Any number divided by itself is just 1. Okay, so I've got 2 over 1. Whenever we have 1 on the bottom, that just means I have a whole number. So 2 over 1 is actually just the same as 2. So when I reduced everything, my final answer is just 2. 48 over 24 is actually just 2. And you can take as many steps as you need to reduce our fraction. So this last part of the note says a fraction that has a denominator of 1 is just a whole number. Whole numbers are numbers that we can count on our hands, 1, 2, 3, etc. So on the next page in your booklets is going to be some chances for you to practice. Oh, this is not the next page in your booklet. Here it is. So we're going to add and subtract fractions. The only difference this time is I want to reduce to terms. These share the same denominator, so that's an easy step. I subtract the top. So it is 2 over 8, we're right. Can I reduce that? I could divide top by 2 and bottom by 2. 2/8 is the same as 1/4, but 1/4 is in lowest terms. So for the first 3 examples, they have the same denominator. So I can just add or subtract the top, the numerators. In the next rows, you notice I have different denominators. So my first step, again, is going to be listing out my multiples or counting by my denominator to find what they share. And then moving on from there. So I want you to try, I think there's 1, 2, 3 in each row. And there are 4 rows. So we have 12 questions in total. I want you to work on those. If you're stuck, I will post solutions on Google Classroom. And those are the 2 lessons on adding and subtracting fractions that we had done before the holiday. So best of luck with those. And again, if you're ever stuck, you can always send me an email or comment on Google Classroom if you'd like some help. Okay, bye for now.